What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fitness. We are here with I'm gonna say Viviana Z because I don't want to butcher the last name on. You got to say the last name.
Yeah, Zarragoitia.
See, man, I would have not have. Lucho, could you say that? Do you know that one?
No, I can't say it.
But we're here with Viviana Z, one of our OG members here at Real Fitness. Been here since for over 6 years. Over 6 years now, I want to say. But we want to talk to her about her fitness journey. She's been a dedicated member, again, over 6 years, doing group classes, private training, a little bit of everything here at Real Fitness. So Viviana, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
For sure. So first question I want to ask you is, and this is kind of an outside of the box question, but what's something you've learned about yourself outside of fitness? Just by showing up to the gym consistently?
I think the main thing I've learned is that I really thrive on routine. And for me, once I put something as part of the calendar, as part of the schedule, it's on autopilot and then I don't have to think about it. And if it's a good habit, then it becomes part of my lifestyle. It just becomes part of my daily routine. So it's not even like a chore. It's not, oh, there's this thing I do. It's just, to me, coming to the gym now has become to the point of it's no different than brushing my teeth or taking a shower. It's just part of the daily.
Before Real Fitness, were you still working out at 7 a.m. or did this change your routine at all?
Yes, I had a very different routine before. I used to do boxing 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday, but I did it after work.
Okay.
So it was a 7 p.m.
Okay.
And I did that because I was living in West Hollywood.
Okay.
I was working in Manhattan Beach, and I used to like going to the gym after work so I could avoid traffic going home. It's harder after work, you're tired, and then you really sacrifice the social life. I didn't really have as much of an active social life because it was you either go hang out or you go work out. And I was tired of making that choice. And so when I moved to Playa del Rey in July of 2018 now, I live 10 minutes from work. So I switched up my schedule so that I can wake up at 6, be here by 7, go home, shower, get ready between 8 and 9 and leave the door by 9. And it makes a big difference knowing that I never necessarily have to sacrifice this time because it's the first thing I do every day. I am free to have a social life and go do whatever I want after work because I've already put in, to me, the hardest part of the day first, because I think after coming here in the morning for this hour, everything else is easy.
Yeah, for sure. So you're boxing. So was this your first time strength training?
Yes.
Had you done?
Yes.
Okay.
I always wanted to do this before I could even afford it, to be honest. It was something that in my 20s, I always really wanted to learn how to do a push-up, how to do a squat, how to do these things properly, because I knew they were the foundation of everything else physically, mobility-wise, strength-wise, flexibility. And, when I finally got to the point in my life where I bought my place, I moved here, I rearranged my finances. I'm like, I want to prioritize this because I think this is an investment in myself that is going to take me for the rest of my life.
Were you active growing up? Were you an athlete growing up? Did you work out on your own? Has that always been a part of your life?
I didn't really work out gym-wise necessarily. I played basketball in grade school. Then I left that. Then in high school, I did kickboxing, which I enjoyed.
Kickboxing in high school. Wow. That's
Not as part of the high school, but I would go to a gym outside of high school and just go do that for fun.
Was that for a workout, or was that like a self-defense? Did you go to a rough high school?
No,
I gotta learn kickboxing.
I went to high school in Santa Monica. It was fine. I went to Catholic school. The roughest part were the nuns and priests.
All right, so it wasn't a skill to make it home after school.
No, and again, I would go 7 p.m. and I was the youngest person in the class because everyone else was an adult and I'm 15.
That's interesting.
What
triggered? What at high school made you be I want to learn kickboxing?
I had one of my best friends that started taking Kempo. Which is a form of martial arts. And I saw him get really strong, lose a lot of weight. And I'm like, you know what? That seems fun. I don't necessarily want to do martial arts, but I like the boxing. I like that it's, kickboxing is another full body workout. And I did that for a couple years in high school. And then college came, party time came. And then in my mid 20s, I came back to, okay, now it's sort of time to prepare myself for the rest of my life. And so it was a conscious choice of how do you want the rest of your life to look like? And let's start weeding out the things you don't need, the things that are important, and start prioritizing those things.
Yeah. And I bet you felt like a badass. After a few kickboxing classes, Did you kind of walk the halls a little bit more like, I dare you to bump into me, kind of, you know?
I think that's like something that people don't think about with any sport or physical activity is it gives you confidence in yourself that you don't think about when you don't do it, right? Because maybe your confidence comes from your personality or you thinking that you're mentally so much better or so much greater, but from physical exercise is where a lot of confidence comes from.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow, I just learned that today. Viviana did kickboxing in high school. That's what's up.
You got inspired. It sounds like you got inspired by your surroundings.
I mean, I feel that way too when I started here, and I think, other Viviana and Bazzi, we all kind of started. Viviana was already here, but Bazzi and I kind of started at the same time, and it was fun to we sort of like have come up together in the sense that we were trying to like teach each other how to do things or encourage each other, and now it's, second nature. It's just part of what we do for fun.
From what you're saying, this is a good question. If your gym journey were a movie, what would be the title and what would be the plot twist?
So the title, I would call it It's a Privilege, because I truly think it's a privilege to be able to physically come here and do these things. I mean, there are people who are physically disabled, are sick in a hospital, are unable to do this. I think being able to have the means, the resources, and the time, and really the guidance from all of you here. You guys put in, I think, so much investment in us and making sure that our form is correct and that we don't injure ourselves. I think it's truly a gift, and it's a privilege, in my opinion. I truly believe in like the Billie Jean King, pressure is a privilege as well. And I think just being able to lift a dumbbell or a kettlebell or do a squat, not everyone can do that. And I don't take it for granted. And it's why I'm never unhappy when I'm here. I feel so grateful to be able to physically do this, because I also know that it won't last forever. At some point, there will come a time where I just physically won't be able to do these things. The plot twist has been the rabbit hole that I've gone down from starting just to come here, and how I have really changed my dietary habits, my sleeping time, even my social life. I really prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, and whether that means I have to leave events early, but it's so worth it, because the next day I really see the benefit of it. But even the diet, adding supplements, like I never thought that would be something that I would become that person. But once you start to see the benefit and the gains of coming here, you don't want to jeopardize it for anything else. Like then when you start to see the snowball effect, as it's called, you're like, oh, this really works. And if I do more and more and more, it's only going to get better and better.
You brought up changing your diet, and that's because a lot of times you hear like the trainers will talk about, all right, you should do this, but it'd be good to hear from the member, like from your experience, how did you change your diet? Because you've seen some good results here, right? You've gotten
for sure
stronger, and just I'm sure when you look at yourself, you see a difference. So what changes in your diet did you make that you felt really helped to make that change?
Yeah, I tried a few different things on my own when I started coming here. So for a while, I tried going vegetarian and reducing meat, but then I just got really skinny, but I didn't feel strong necessarily. I wasn't really building muscle mass. And it wasn't until the pandemic, which I view, frankly, again, as a gift in my life, I got a nutritionist because I had the time, I was home, I could control when I eat, what I eat, how much. I wasn't beholden to having to go out and do any social activities, so I really honed in on it. And I think what she really taught me is, because I was like, I'm working out so much, but I'm not building muscle. And she said, well, you have to eat more. And from someone who doesn't understand nutrition, if you're just coming to the gym and you think, well, if I eat less, I'll get skinny. Yeah, but you're not building muscle mass. You're not building it. If you don't bring the protein into your diet, which is sort of the clay of the sculpture of your body, it's not going to work. So she was like, do high protein, high saturated fat, and you'll start to see a huge difference. And I did notice it in terms of leaning out, but then also bulking up, which is always the sort of body, type that I wanted to instill in myself. And so now, having been on that consistent plan for the past 4 or 5 years, in addition to supplements she recommended that I take, such as vitamin B, potassium, magnesium, I take omega-3s, it all adds up, right? And I think, part of the sort of autopilot routine of my life is there's set supplements I take every day with my lunch. I take collagen in the morning with tea or coffee, whatever hot drink I'm having. And then the diet is I meal plan on the weekends. I cook for myself 3 to 4 times a week. So again, it's all a whole lifestyle change, but that's, I think, what you learn once you start getting deeper and deeper into this.
But were you cooking prior to that?
Yeah,
Like, you
I've
were?
always enjoyed
So you've
cooking.
always
So
been, yeah.
it's just
Okay.
shifting what you cook, right?
Yeah.
So like I won't necessarily make pasta anymore because it's a lot of carbs, but I'll make some protein and a vegetable dish in the oven. So it's I think the nutrition part is really, you can't teach someone to like cooking. You have to really enjoy that, and I enjoy being in the kitchen for an hour and a half and just making something. And that's unfortunately one thing that I think eating out is not the best for you, and I think there's much more to be gained from controlling what you put in your body.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I don't enjoy cooking at all, but I cook. But I'm a big advocate of the Instant Pot. So it's like quick and efficient, So I'm not I can cook for myself and boom, knock it out quick. But it's like I'm not one of those people that I do not enjoy cooking. But I'm like you, I cook all the time. So
I like having friends over for dinner parties. And one thing, one compliment I've gotten over the years is like, oh, we know if we come to your house, we're going to eat healthy. You're not going to eat like poor, because I'm not going to serve something that I myself don't want to eat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's cooking out here has been a change for me, because I never really cooked back home in California, but out here I had more time to add that to my lifestyle, where I started enjoying cooking, but I got more efficient with my time when I cook. Because here you buy fresh stuff every day. If you're able to, you buy fresh meat, fresh produce, and then you start practicing you don't even know you're practicing a style of cooking, but you're practicing a style of cooking, and then you start enjoying the rhythm. So I got a rhythm. And then you kind of enjoy that moment. It's like a Zen moment when you cook, and then you have pleasure cooking and eating, and even clean up.
Yeah.
Because you're being efficient.
It's instant gratification. It's instant gratification, right? Like you've just spent an hour cooking, and you're like, great, I get to the fruits of my labor. Literally, I get to eat them. The way I structure myself is I love cooking from cookbooks. So Friday night, I sort of pick out which recipes I'm going to make for the week. Saturday, after coming here, I go to the Playa Vista Farmers Market that opens at 9. I get as much as I can there. I top up, at Whole Foods, at Trader Joe's, whatever I can find. And I cook big batches on the weekends because I have the time. And then I top up during the week once that runs out, usually Wednesday or Thursday nights.
So obviously, you changed the diet. You've been working out here. What would you say? I mean, this is because you've been here for a while. I mean, it's over 6 years. So I'm sure you've probably had like a lot of different changes. But what would you say is like one of the your most noticeable physical results that you've seen working out here?
I think I would put it in 3 categories. Number one, I think posture was one of, because I think, my back used to curve a little bit, and that was from years of also boxing all the time, but computer work, driving. So I think posture correction, strength. I mean, I noticed that in simple things. Going back to the cooking example, there'd be big pots that I'd have trouble getting myself, and now I can do them with one hand. It's very noticeable.
Okay. Man, how big are these pots?
I mean, stainless steel, right? Like I cook with my nice stainless steel pots and pans.
All right.
And just mobility, like having hip mobility or being able to do much deeper squats, or all of those little things, I think, are the ones that I've noticed. And I mean, I am vain, so you do see it in the mirror, as the years go on you're like, oh, wow, I have traps, or I have this, or I have, I didn't notice I had these muscles now. And it sort of catches you by surprise, which is the funny part, that one day you look at yourself after a shower and you're like, oh, I never realized that before. It's probably been there, but you finally one day just see it.
You felt it, and you sensed it, and you looked at it.
Yeah.
And it hits you like an epiphany.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. There's a change. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's like a nice surprise after a shower.
Yeah.
And you've also you started playing tennis. Was that something you were playing before the gym, or
I
started?
Was, yeah. I've always dipped in and out, but when I moved to this neighborhood, because my condo complex has courts, I usually would play once a week on Sundays.
Okay.
Sunday mornings, and then during the pandemic, I was playing 3-4 times a week because I had so much time, and then I sort of fell out of that routine. Like first half of 2024, because I would have friends come over and play every Sunday, but one injured herself, one moved away. So I fell out of that habit for a couple months. And I really missed it. And around summer of last year, like June and July, I discovered this tennis club in the marina, and I joined right away. And it's been, I think it's in the long run, it's going to be like one of those life-changing things where I've made great friends, people that I would normally not meet otherwise. But in a way, the way I approached that is very similar to how I approached and learned from this community, right? Because I think you guys are so good at building a gym community, right? It's a small, there aren't that many members. We all kind of know each other. You guys do a lot of social events, the hikes, so we can all get to know each other. And I approached it very much similarly to how I learned the foundation here. So I take private instruction, which is how I started my journey here.
Okay.
I take like group classes 3 times a week to meet people and play and like get those reps in. And it's been great. And I think it's also very telling to the people who run, you guys run the gym and the tennis community, is that you have people that are very encouraging, very positive, very welcoming when you're new. And that just takes, good people, I guess, find other good people to bring into the community. So now having had gym community, I've recreated that with tennis community. And I think I'm just a joiner who likes building community out of things I enjoy. But I approached it in a similar way, and it's really, you can start to see the noticeable difference from how I was playing when I first joined to now I'm sort of, almost a year in, and it's like night and day.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so do you feel like the strength training has played a part
Totally.
in helping with tennis?
100%, because I think no matter what I do outside of here, this will always be the foundation. Like I will never sacrifice this or jeopardize it, because to me, if you don't do this, you can't do anything else. And I also play these sort of mental games with myself where I'm like, okay, if I go to gym, then I can go to tennis later. It's like I have to earn that, because that is playtime. That's like a play, but in order to play, you have to put in the work now. So that's how I view it. And there is a big difference too when I play with people over there that I can tell don't go to the gym. And they admit like that's their exercise, but it's a cardio thing, it's a keeping up thing, it's a mental thing. There is a noticeable difference as well. They may be technically better, but if you're trying to play like long term, you can tell a difference.
So there's a lot of growth for you from when you started to where you are now.
Yeah.
That you felt the change, you noticed the change, you are the change, and now you have a confidence about who you are today. So
100%.
What would be the advice would you give to you that first started, that walked into that door? What advice would you give that person now that you're here, to that person that you were?
Yeah, I would say it's a marathon, not a race. I mean, it was so hard. It was very frustrating the first 6 to 9 months when you don't see results necessarily, and it's frustrating when you can't do a squat properly, or I would lift the trap bar and then I would hurt my back, and you're out for like 3 or 4 days, and it was very frustrating. Or even just I started out doing, as you know, Lucho, with you and Jesse, the one-on-one private training, because I remember like early on the first month, I tried to do a class and I could barely keep up with a class. Like I just couldn't keep up with the pace of it or understanding the exercises or what to do. So I'm like, I'm not even ready for the classes yet. So I stuck it out on the private training, and I wasn't always looking forward to coming here. It was definitely very mentally and physically challenging. But eventually, you start to get comfortable and you hit like a break, and then a break comes when I had a fear of the squats, as you know, Lucho. It took me a long time to just get comfortable doing that and knowing that my body was going to bring me back up. So, I think it's just easy does it, and eventually you'll get there, and you'll get there without you even realizing it.
You got over the hardest part, which is that hump, because you're right when you say it's a challenge, a mental challenge, and a lot of people they'll drop because of that challenge.
Yeah.
And you have to get through that boot camp period, because once you get through that, things start to change. But it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
And you made it through, so that's a testament to your courage, your power, and look at the results. Look at the way you sound. Look at the way you talk. So it shows.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna let this iron beat me. Like, I'm a person.
Yeah.
And this is kind of related to that, but You know, a lot of people hesitate to start the gym because they're scared. You know, it's intimidating. You get people that are like, well, I walk by and I see everyone in the classes and I don't think I could do that. And so, you know, thinking back how when you started, what would be your advice to them to finally come in the door, to try the gym, to let them know that like this is a place for them?
I mean, it's like anything else, right? No one is born knowing these things. You're not born knowing how to do like a barbell lift or anything. It just takes time. But I'm a firm believer in, you know, is it day one or one day, right? These are like little sayings I say to myself all the time. It's like, oh, one day I want to do that. Well, when is one day going to be? You know, start where you are. Doesn't matter, but just keep it going, because the more consistent you are, slowly and surely you'll start to see changes. And I'm also a big fan of, if not me, who, and if not now, when. So to me, I think time is the only resource none of us ever get back.
Yeah.
People come and go, money comes and goes, but time continues marching on. And so the time you waste of not trying and not going, it just means that it's going to take you longer to get there.
Mm-hmm. We got to run it back, but say that one more time. It's the day one? What was that?
It's like, is it like when people say, oh, one day I want to do that? And I'm like, well, one day or day one?
Yeah.
Like,
did you hear that somewhere, or did you just make that up?
No, I think I heard it somewhere. I wish I was smart enough.
I'm like, that's a bar. No. Like we need a T-shirt for that. Is it? Say it one more time.
One day or day?
Is it one day or day? Is it day one or one day? Right?
Yeah.
That's a bar.
Well, because people always say, oh, one day. If I had all the time in the world to do this, it's like, well, one day or day one?
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna be the Viviana real fitness shirt with that on it. Like. Man,
so whenever people
hard,
tell me, oh, one day I want to try this, I'm like, well, one day or day one?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah, damn.
And I think, honestly, this is what I learned. I learned many things during the pandemic, but all the people who say, well, if only I had all the time in the world. Well, we had it for 2-3 years. And if you didn't do all the things you wanted to do then, I mean, God bless. I don't know when it's going to be.
You just gave us a great selling advice there. Or when we have those people that I'm not ready yet, just to say that actually was a really good statement. So thanks for that.
Anytime,
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I made a conscious choice when I decided to come here, and I remember precisely what happened, right? It was, I'd moved here July of 2018. I saw this gym many times, driving, walking around. And I remember May of 2019, I went to Cannes for work, and I was in Europe for vacation. I ate, drank, and had a blast. And then I'm like, all right, as soon as I get back, I'm going to clean up myself and start this. And I started June, I think, of 2019 in here. Because that was my last hurrah. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get out of my system and then like come back to work immediately, you know? So it was like I mentally had prepared myself for that shift.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as difficult. I'm not going to say it wasn't hard, but I was already like, I'm ready now.
Well, Viviana, that's all the questions that we have for you today. We really, really appreciate it. Unless Lucho, do you have something?
Yeah, let's get something. Let's get down to a juicy moment.
Okay, all right.
What's something that no one here at the gym knows about you?
Well, we kind of touched on it earlier. I don't think people know that I play tennis outside of here. But I view now myself a bit more like an athlete. So coming to the gym is like putting the work in so I can go win over there. So. But I also love cycling. I'm a big cyclist, so.
That I didn't know.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, so.
Tennis, I think we all knew about tennis, but we didn't know about cycling.
Yeah, I love cycling on the beach path up and down here. There's been a couple days where I've done the whole thing, like end to end, and then I've also gone all the way to downtown LA. You can on the bike from Playa del Rey.
Dang, from downtown to Playa, that's a ride. Wow.
That's a journey.
It's a great way to see the city. You go like Bologna Creek, then up. By the expo, like Jefferson National area, and then you just keep going. It takes you like along the metro. There's a bike lane, and it takes you all the way.
Is there a lane the whole way to downtown?
Yeah, and then you end at Figueroa and USC, and then you cut up to Figueroa, and then you're in downtown.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
That's a route. Okay, I didn't know you could do that. Wow.
Yeah, do it early in the morning. Less cars.
So like, it's scary with all these cars. Wow, that's cool.
That's part of the thrill. I'm a bit of an adventure seeker. That's part of the fun.
Viviana's a badass, from the kickboxer to riding through the mean streets of LA. We didn't know about all this.
Most of the time I come here, I'm already sore from what I brought. I'm doing. There's never a day that I don't feel something.
All right.
Let's
well,
end on that. There's never a day I don't
Yeah,
feel something.
never day she's not sore. That's come to Real Fitness. You'll be sore for the rest of your life. That's.
And feel happy about it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And again, check us out. Real Talk,
Yeah.
Real Fitness on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you all for joining in. We'll see you on the next.
Thank you.
On the next.